Hi, this is Matthew Cratter from Trader University. And today I want to talk about Warren Buffett, Coke, and how to get rich. If you're interested in Buffett or his historical investments or just want to see what I'm trading and investing in, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, I've written a book on Buffett, which many of you may have read. It's one of the best sellers on Amazon. But I think there are a lot of people have confusing thoughts around Buffett. So a lot of people just think that you can buy exactly what Buffett has bought over his lifetime and get rich. And I think this is a little bit misleading. And the reason for that is when Buffett bought Coke, it was trading at a fairly high PE for his day and age. And it was definitely not something that was completely obvious. Now, Buffett's insight into Coke was that it was going to see international growth. It had done very well in the US and maybe in Europe from the early 1900s to the 1980s when Buffett bought it. But Buffett could see that they were beginning to really explode as a worldwide brand. Now, the other thing he noticed is that Coca-Cola, for much of the 70s, had been doing really dumb things with its cash flow, with its capital. And it sort of lost focus on what it was good at. So in the 70s, or maybe it was even the early 80s, Coca-Cola, it was just rolling in cash. So they owned some very strange things. They owned a shrimp farm. They owned some plastics factories. They owned some wine producers. And at one point, they even owned Columbia Pictures. Now, Buffett's insight was that Coke was going to get this international growth, and it was going to start to divest these kind of silly brands that weren't related to its core competencies. And it was going to use that cash flow instead to raise the dividend rate, to start doing stock buybacks, etc. So I think what a lot of people fail to understand is that you just can't buy Coke and Wells Fargo and some of these kind of legacy investments of Buffett. They're maybe not bad places if you're content with a 2 or 3% dividend yield, but I don't think they're really the place to be. You need to be riding the next wave, and this is really what Buffett has done over his lifetime. He was very good at anticipating consumer trends. And for example, buying Gillette because people are going to keep shaving. These sort of consumer staple stocks is it seems like a very obvious thing to do in retrospect. But the problem is you can't do what someone has already done to become a billionaire. It just doesn't work. And even Buffett acknowledges that. Like he said, this famous quote, "If I was running $1 million today or $10 million for that matter, I'd be fully invested. I could make you 100% a year." 50% a year on $1 million. And he guarantees that he could do that. So the second part of this video, I want to really explore what sort of forward-looking investments have the potential to make people a lot of money. And the one that really comes to mind, and this is going to surprise a lot of people putting this in a Buffett video, but I want you to stay open-minded, is Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin has, like Coca-Cola, has a really, really good brand. It's a brand, it's a name that's recognized completely, worldwide. It's also the place to be in terms of it has the largest market cap, currently about 173 billion. It has the highest trading volume. You can see that over the last 24 hours, for example, Bitcoin traded $32 billion worth of volume, whereas the next closest was Ethereum at just 10 billion. And so in many ways, you could see Bitcoin as sort of like Coke today and Ethereum as Pepsi. At least when Buffett bought Coke, it really was the leader in the beverage space. And so looking forward, I think Bitcoin is a lot like a Coke. It has the brand, it has the liquidity, it has a trading volume. These are the kind of things that institutions like. And institutions like hedge funds and investment banks like Goldman Sachs, even though they say bad things about crypto, and Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan has said many bad things about Bitcoin, but this is really where the future is. And so if you're buying Goldman Sachs, if you're buying Wells Fargo, if you're buying Johnson & Johnson and Coke, you're really trading looking in the rearview mirror. And this is something that Buffett has discouraged us from doing. And what you really need to do, if I can find the slide, this Wayne Gretsky quote is great. I've used it in many of my books and videos. I skate to where the puck is going to be, not to where it has been. And so I think the puck has been, the puck was Coke, it was Wells Fargo, some of these very obvious investments. But I think once you've gotten into the idea of investing, and it's good to read. You can read my book about Buffett and learn how he made money. But you can't do the same thing to make money going forward. You have to do something different. And when you do something different, a lot of people are going to think you're crazy. So I've actually taken quite a bit of flack for beginning to post about Bitcoin, especially from people who have read my Buffett book. But you have to put yourself in the shoes of someone who's skating to where the puck is going to be. And when Buffett bought Coke, people thought he was overpaying for it. People thought he was crazy. I have another quote here from Paul Krugman about the internet. Famous quote from 1998. The growth of the internet will slow. It's clear that the internet's impact on the economy has been no greater or will be no greater than the fax machines. So you got to be very careful even listening to experts when it comes to this. And you have to constantly be looking forward and looking to where the puck is going to be. And I believe Bitcoin is one of those ways for just the everyday person, the retail investor, to make a lot of money. I'll link to a couple of my videos on Bitcoin in the description notes below. Right now it's trading at about 9,000. Let's look. 96.50. I believe that this has the potential over the next 10 years to go to $1 million or $2 million per Bitcoin as it takes on sort of the traditional role that gold has had as a store of value and as it becomes sort of the natural global reserve currency. So I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you want to know more about what I'm working on and be notified when I come up with my next video. And I really want to know your thoughts on Buffett, Coke, and Bitcoin as well. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.